How are ya? I'm good. I'm gonna do some diamond painting. I know. Just felt like it. Do a little chitty chatting. Curled my hair. Anyway, I'll be right with you. Hold on. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. I was, it's only a second for you, but for me, I had to go find my glasses, pick out a color, you know. So, I am working on Chuck Pinson's Reflections on Country Living. I'm going to use my pen that I got off of AliExpress. And I got to get rid of the old wax that's in here real quick. And there we go. So, I had a good reception to my diamond painting, so Lizzie was very happy, so I was happy to do that for her. And then my friend Susan was like, okay, I got a challenge for you. I'm like, okay, let me hear it. And she wants me to do plastic canvas. And I'm like, okay. I've done plastic canvas before. Like I said, I did cross stitch. I did some plastic canvas in the, I think, late 80s, early 90s maybe. I made a jewelry box. If you can cross stitch, you can do plastic canvas. It's actually easier because on cross stitch you have to go back and make the little X, and on plastic canvas it's just, I'm going to turn the light on real quick. You just go one way. You don't have to go back and X over. And there's a bunch of different patterns you can do, but yeah. But yeah, she asked me to do that, and I said, sure. But I don't have any plastic canvases kits or anything to work on. I would be happy to do that for her, but I have to find one. And I was looking on eBay, and I was looking on Mary Maxim, and they have some cute ones. So she might talk me into it. You know Susan, she's always, well, you don't know Susan, but Susan loves to put dares out to people. I am doing color number 3819. It's like baby squished peas, Gerber peas. Obnoxious yellow orange, but yeah. I say this was Reflections on Country Living by Chuck Pinson. I think it did. So what are we going on to talk about today? Well, I don't know exactly how to put this, but I'll put it as delicately as possible. Friday we had a lot of rain. My husband went to work, and he came home shortly, and afterwards, and he's like, work was canceled, and I said, okay, and he said, let's go take a nap, and I said, okay, and so we had a good time. And if you're in your 50s and your husband says, let's go take a nap, it's always a good time. I'm not bragging, I'm just putting it out there that we're happily married. So yeah, that's what Friday was like. Then Saturday was, you know, whatever. Normal, back to normal stuff, but yeah. So if anybody wondered where I was on Friday, that's where I was. Keeping the home fires burning, shall we speak. So anywho, that's really not what I wanted to talk about. There you go. So I've been reading a lot lately. Once I got out of class, I'm like, woo, I'm free. I can do all sorts of fun stuff. So I loaded up my Kindle. Now, you don't know me as far as what my book reading is like, so I'll try and give you an example of what I like. I like old books. I read, if I read something that's new, it's generally nonfiction, but the older it is, the happier I am. I guess you would call it classic lit. Um, if it was written in the 1800s, I'm probably reading it or have read it. Let me get my coffee real quick. Ugh! The mold is terrible. It was 16,000 points the other day. Ugh, good grief. So, I like goth stuff, gothic. They call it romance, but it's not really romance. I guess what's romantic about it is that people have a lot of angst. So, I found this book called Monster she wrote, and it's all about female authors who wrote horror. And so I read this book, and it's a nonfiction book, and it's two editors who are female that, basically the whole book is all about really good female authors of gothic romance and horror and science fiction. So that led me down the trail of different stuff that I hadn't read in a while. And so I remember when I was a kid, I tried to read V.C. Andrews, and I don't know what the gig was, but it freaked me out and I couldn't read it. So I never did read that series. So I came across in this book, they were talking about V.C. Andrews and what her life was like and what she wrote about. And I guess she was basically in a wheelchair. I don't know what was wrong with her. Can't remember, but so she wrote books, and she was very popular, and then she passed away. So I went on to I have the Libby app, Libby app on my phone, and you type in your library card number, and you can check out books and put them on your Kindle, and then of course you have, like, I don't know what it is, 20 days to read them. At least that's what I have on mine, is 20-day checkout. So I downloaded a couple books, and one of the ones that I downloaded was Flowers in the Attic. And I have to tell you, it's as weird as I remember. It doesn't freak me out like it did when I was younger, because when I was younger, I guess my anxiety was worse, or I think you have to live a little bit. Because I remember when a boyfriend had taken me to Nightmare on Elm Street, I had nightmares for years. So, I don't know if maybe I can handle it better now, or I've been through some horrible stuff enough that that kind of stuff doesn't freak me out anymore. I don't know. Margot. But, so yeah, but it's still kind of a bizarre book, and I'm and even though you know what's going to happen, you're like, And if you have never read this book, let's just say it has child abuse, it has incest, it's kind of interesting. So yeah, anyway, and I can't get these colors into here. So in the meantime, when I was reading Monsters She Wrote, they started talking about Shirley Jackson. And if you grew up in the United States, you probably read it's classic literature by this point. It was written in 1948. It's called The Lottery. Ugh. I have got 3819 everywhere. sucker. So, and I remember we had to read it, and maybe I was in 7th grade, and I remember being freaked out. It was just a super freaky book. It wasn't a book, actually. It was more like a short story. Anyway, the premise is that there's this small town, and in order for the crops to keep growing, they have to make like a human sacrifice. But it's written in such a way that it's like so blah-de-blah, like, yeah, you know, we got up, she has this writing style that it's like really normal, and then all of a sudden she hits you with the creepy stuff. So yeah, so I remember that book made a huge impression, or it's not, why do I keep calling it a book? It's a short story. Made a huge impression on me. I mean, it was horrifying. If you've never read it, you should look it up. It's not that long to read. It wouldn't take you very long. So I decided that, and then so I had avoided her for years because, you know, I didn't like that story. So then I decided to read a couple of her other books. So this leads me into what I really wanted to talk about. So I am so sorry, y'all. Ugh. Anyway. So I decided to check out her book, The Haunting of Hill House. And it's another one where it's like really, I mean, it's like not, it's, how do I explain this? It doesn't, it's like everything is pretty normal and then freaky stuff happens. It's like one of those things, like she lulls you into a false sense of security. And all of a sudden, wham, she hits you with stuff. I am not a big Stephen King fan. I like the ghost story stuff. I can't explain it to you. I like the goth stuff. I just downloaded a book off of Amazon for 99 cents, 25 Tales in the Macabre, and they're really obscure from old magazines that they put out back in the day, in the 1800s. And I mean, when I say back in the day, I mean back in the day. So that's the kind of stuff I like. So anyway, so this leads me, okay, I know I'm rambling. I should have wrote down a timeline of stuff I wanted to say. But this leads me to the point of Netflix. So I have been reading, and so I go into my Netflix and I'm perusing it. And because I watched the Frankenstein Chronicles, and because I watched a couple of different other murder things, The Haunting of Hill House comes up, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, cool. So here's my problem. So obviously I've read The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. So I turned this movie on, and it said, based on Shirley Jackson's book, The Haunting of Hill House. And I'm like, oh no, here we go. I understand that people get inspired by different things. Let me pick a color while I'm doing this. But I was super... I can't give you a good review of this movie, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I only watched the first 10 minutes of it. And then I'm like, this is not what I've been reading about. This is totally, who are these people? It's a family with like all these little kids, and ghosts, and it's not at all. I don't know. I turned it off because I was so disgusted. So I don't know, maybe it goes back and forth in time. I didn't get that far in it. I was really disgusted because I like books like the way they're written, and I have the picture in my head of how it's supposed to be. So, like, I didn't have this problem with Harry Potter because I had read Harry Potter, and I had not read Harry Potter is what I'm getting to before I saw the movie. So now when I read Harry Potter, I see the characters. That's okay. But if I read it first and then they make a movie of it, I can't, it bugs me. It's like, okay, that's wrong and that's wrong. And I sit there critiquing the whole show, movie, series, whatever. And so I just was like really flippin', disappointed, and I just shut The Haunting of Hill House off. Will I go and watch it? I don't know. At this point, I was so like, what the heck is this about, that I don't know if I'm even gonna go back and watch it. You know, we pay for our internet, and it's pretty dear, so I really have to want to see something to watch it on Netflix, and you can't turn down the internet speed on Netflix. So it's like you always have to have it at the highest speed possible, and so then it just runs through our internet so much that. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but yeah, I was bummed. I was like, oh, really? And then the other thing I saw is Netflix is doing a series called Virgin River. Now, I read Virgin River. It's a whole series of romantic novels. They're not like, they have a good story to them. She's pretty involved. The author is Robin Carr, and I fell in love with that series. And I read it I think they came out in the 2000s. And I recently reread one of my favorite ones from Virgin River, and I still like it, but I don't know. I guess you have to be in that kind of mood to. It's a romance novel, okay? So I'm perusing on Netflix, and lo and behold, guess who's doing a series on Virgin River? Yes, Netflix. And I'm like, really? They're gonna ruin it. This is my first thought. They're going to ruin it, and it's gonna be horrible. Like they did the same thing with Lighthouse Cove. Can't remember who wrote that series, right? I have to think about it. But Hallmark did a series of Lighthouse Cove books, and I watched one of them, and I was like, oh my gosh. Who's that, Debbie McComber, that wrote Lighthouse Cove? Yeah. You could watch it and go, okay, this is fabulous, I love it, now I want to read the book, and then you can do. But since I read the book already, I have in my mindset what the characters look like, what they talk like, what they act like, then now I just do not think that I can go back and watch it on Netflix. I know, isn't that weird? It's just totally bizarre. I don't know. I'm a freak of nature, I swear. But yeah. So, what else have I been doing? Greg didn't work for like 3 weeks, so that put us back in the hole for a while, but he's been working pretty consistently, and he's got a chance to go work in New Mexico, and he always makes really good money when he goes out of town. So, oh, there's a bunch of N's over here. So we will get back in the swing of things. Plus, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, that my teeth will be finished by the end of August, and so I can start a new job. I really should just apply and go in and go, hey, this is what's going on. I'm having my teeth worked on. I mean, I was thinking about doing that, but then I would have to take time off because, obviously my dentist is not open on the weekends, so I would have to be like, yeah, I can't come to work this day and this day because they're going to pull this tooth. And then can you imagine me trying to go to work the next day after he pulled a tooth and be like all miserable and stuff? I don't know what to do about that. I mean, I'm sure that when I go in for a job interview, they're going to say, what took you so long? And I'm going to have to explain it anyway about why I waited so long to look for a job or apply for a job, because I don't know. I really want to get my teeth fixed. And then to top it off, because Greg hadn't worked, I called to reschedule my appointment because I had to pay $80 the next time I went in, and we didn't have $80 to give the dentist. So I talked to I always see the same dental hygienist lady, and she's fabulous. She makes me laugh. But yeah, because when I freak out and go to the dentist, I need somebody to take my mind off stuff. Anyway, she's good conversationalist, always tells me stuff. Anyway, she was like, yeah, I'm really glad you canceled your appointment. We were going to try and call you. And I said, why? Okay. Well, thanks. This worked out well. And she goes, unfortunately, the dentist, his wife was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and they want to do a bunch of surgery and stuff, and he needs the time off to be with her. And I was like, oh no. I hate that. I hate hearing that. Yeah. I was like, oh, poor Dr. so-and-so's wife. Oh, I don't want to say her name because that's just rude, but I'm like super bummed. I hope it comes out well for her. Speaking of breast cancer, my sister Terry had her 6-month checkup, and so far she is doing good, no cancer. So yay us. What are we at right now? 23 minutes. 23 minutes and I have nothing else to talk about. I don't know what to do. Sorry, just trying to get these back in here. Let me pause you and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Yeah, I had to think about what I wanted to talk about. Nothing exciting has been happening really to me that I can talk about. I don't, I did hop into a live where J-Rob was talking about when her and her husband adopted Willow, so that was an interesting story. And she's from Michigan, so she was talking about Battle Creek and Grand Rapids, so it always makes my ears perk up to hear about my old hometown. And so I was very happy for her. And of course, with the diamond painting community, a lot of things are happening, and I'm kind of out of the loop because like I said, I have been coloring a lot lately, so I hate when I do that, because then all of a sudden you're like, see the edge of the plastic? That drives me crazy. So like, my friend Lizzie is doing her Lizzie along with Lizzie Falcon, and I've never been a big fan of Lizzie Falcon, so I didn't feel like I could join in on that. And I don't know what it is about Lizzie Falcon. It doesn't, it's not my kind of art. I'm not sure. She seems a little dark. I don't know. I'm just not thrilled with it. And when I was in a live, they were talking about some new paintings that had come out on TSA, and I don't know. I have a ton of diamond paintings that I still need to do, so I just don't feel like, looking at anything new. I still get emails from Diamond Art Club, and I look at their new stuff and I think, wow, that's really pretty, but I feel bad because I have so many because I stashed a lot, and I was gifted some, and so I have diamond paintings that need to be done that I just can't justify buying. Um, cause let's just put it frankly, we're running out of space because I live in an RV, and that's how that goes. I hop in and out of lives, and I don't know. It's not anybody's one live that whatever, but I just am not into lives lately. I don't know what it is. I'd much rather sit there and listen to a WIP and chat. No offense to people who do lives. I mean, please, if you do lives, don't take this the wrong way. But I'm just not into them lately. I don't know. And it has nothing to do with diamond painting. It has nothing to do with coloring. I mean, I don't know. I enjoy WIP and chats a lot better. I like to bebop into people's lives, show my support, but I don't feel like I have, like, sometimes they're like 2 and 3 hours long. It's not that I don't have the time. I guess I just don't have the patience, is what I'm talking about. Where does this end? Did I rip that? Oh my gosh. Did I rip it off? Oh my. I guess I did. Oh no. I gotta get out my parchment, I guess. Yeah. I don't know what's up with me. Sometimes I'm like really into lives. I want to be there and everything's cool and whatever, but I should edit this part out because I'm probably pissing a lot of people off. Oh, no. I don't know. I used to go into a Sunday live all the time, and the creator that I used to watch all the time, I love her dearly. I still love her dearly. But I'm just so over lives. I wish there was more WIP and chats. That's all I have to say. Okay? I'll get off the subject because it's just going to make people angry because a lot of people like lives. I don't know. I'm just not into them lately. Maybe it's so I can, like, pause it, because if I have to go do something, like alright, let me give you an example. I was in a live one day, and I'm watching, and Greg's like, we need to go to the grocery store, and I'm like, okay. Now, could I put, like, earbuds on and still stay in the live, or should I be present in my real life? That's what I'm saying. I have to be present in what's really going on in my life as opposed to lives. And I feel like if I have to choose between a live and what's going on in front of me, because on New Year's Eve, I really actually had a bad argument with my husband. Of course, we were drinking, but I had an argument with him because he was like, you're unalive. You know, are these people more important to you than me? And I'm like, no, it's just, you know, we're, and I'm stuttering and I'm stammering going, you know, of course they're not more important than you. And we were drinking, so, you know, everything is kind of like all more exaggerated when you have a couple cocktails in you. And I hate that about him, that, you know, he doesn't understand that, of course, he's more important than alive. But other people are important to me, too. And he's like, well, you don't even know these people. You're unalive, and, you know, they don't know you. I'm like, okay. But sometimes in YouTube, you feel like, sometimes I feel like the people that I communicate with on YouTube are more real to me than actual people in front of me. I don't even know how to say it. And he gets mad at me because he's like, ugh, are they more important to you than me? And I'm like, you know, why do we have to choose who's more important? Both of you are important. Of course you're more important because you're my husband, but, you know, I'm like, okay, dude. So yeah, it's a quandary, and it's hard, and it sucks, you know. Sometimes, you know, I wish I was single, that I could just do whatever I wanted to do, but that would mean I would not have my husband in my life, and that would be bad too. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm getting at. I'm making a point here, and it's, you know, I'm not doing very well with it, so maybe I should just shut up about it. Shut up, Lisa. See, this is what happens when I do a whip and chat and I don't have anything to say. I just digress into things that make no sense, but yeah, anyway. I I don't know. I love you guys out there in my YouTube land. You're like family. And I actually, you know, sad to say, but with my own sisters, I actually know more about what's going on in YouTube world than I do than what my own sisters are up to, quite frankly. And that's kind of sad in a way. But if my sisters would make videos and tell me what they're doing, then that would, you know, instead of texting me, we have this group text that goes on all the time, and we like chitty chat back and forth. And I'm not saying I don't talk to my sisters. I'm just saying that YouTube people, I know more of what's going on. They're more apt to share, I guess. So, I'm sorry about this rambling, bizarre video, so I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I guess I will. What the heck. Anyway, I'm going to quit for now before I make too many people angry. I don't know what's going on with me today. I feel like I'm blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So, thank you so much for watching. If you have anything to say, say it below in the comments. Subscribe if you'd like. Have a great day. Bye.